Hey guys, it's Dave. I'm going to go over my Uber trade real quick. I sold this yesterday for a nice 4.75R gain. Um, these are my current holdings. I did also sell on today for a 1.5R gain. I'll do that a little bit later. So first, focusing here on Uber. I did do an entry video on there, so I went over the details on that. It was to break it down nicely. This huge shakeout down here. It has a kind of reverse head and shoulders. This level right here, the 74 levels, tagged 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 ish times, finally broke, came back and retested it, and then got back above it. So this 74 level was important for me and how I wanted to trade it. It broke that level and pulled back and kind of respected the 20 EMA level. It did close. It was kind of like an undercut and went back above it. So when I entered, sorry, I had to step away real quick. All right, so when I entered here, I entered at 76.38 on, where'd my little white circle go? On this day right here. It was around 76.38 around this time. It was on Tuesday. It was 4 days up, so I did buy it after 3 days up. However, it was showing strength. It had a strong move during the day, pulled back, followed to break that low. And so I was kind of looking to see how it would respect that low. If you want to go on the 5-minute chart here, there's my little white circle. Little white circle there is my entry point. And so I anchored a VWAP to that, not the low, but the low like intraday. And I liked how it respected that. And then it also closed above the VWAP of the daily VWAP as well. So see how it respected it, chopped above, broke out above that area. I entered here on what I thought was going to move, but either way, it was near the end of the day. So this is what I entered. The stop loss was below the low of this day, so 75. So it's $1.38 as my risk. And you can see the next couple of days it chopped sideways. Part of this setup was also kind of like a counter Tesla play. I heard the idea on Twitter. I forgot who it was from, but I did like it. It was basically saying that, hey, Tesla's going to have this Wii robot. It might be a little overblown. Everybody's super excited about it. And Uber and Lyft and all these other companies are going to be listening in. And the thought was that there's going to be some sort of cracks in the flaws of design or the idea or how ready it's going to be ready to be mass produced or set into the public. And so I like that idea. I was like, oh, okay, well, that aligns also with the chart, right? I typically follow price first. And so I took that idea and I was like, all right, well, I like the chart. I like how it looks. It has my setup, a level break with a retest. It's shown it could potentially, go an uptrend or have a move on this. I know my risk. I had 2 days of, a little bit of padding for maybe a stronger gap down. It was the risk I was willing to take, though. And luckily, there's a pretty huge gap up. As you can see, it closed on the day, 10% up. And so I held it. I was willing to give it back a little gains. And so what I was going to treat it as a potential second day entry to kind of like manage them. And basically second day entry setup would be if you miss the first day, on a big volume day, you set an anchored VWAP, which is what this white line is here. And then the following day afterwards, if it goes down to the anchor VWAP, it respects it and then gets back above the VWAP of that day. Once it gets back above, you could make an argument to enter with a stop loss below the low of the day, or stop loss honoring that VWAP. You can see it just kind of chopped the red line in the intraday, right? And so I held through that day. And I think I tweeted out, I'm going to do this if this happens. And so basically that if this was I was getting out on a break of this low of day, so the rest day low of day, because if it was going to continue to move, I wanted it to move up after one rest day. Market doesn't care what I want, and I don't want to lose more of my money. Risk management, I traded trade to trade the next day, and so I took my money and ran once it broke this low. I honestly, I was at work and I gave it a little bit more room. I actually think I entered like at the low of this. I think it was like 82.67 or something like that. I mean, either way, I got out, made a nice gain, and had a nice 4.75 R. I think that's what I said. So I'm pretty happy about that. I've had a nice few trades. I'm on a winning streak of like 5 or 6 at the moment. I'll keep doing these videos as I continue to close those trades out. This was the last trade. No, this was on October. On was the last trade that I had for September. So I had the September review. I think I'm up like a good 16% just from September 4th of last month. So I went for a little down streak, and now my setups are working in the proper environment, and so it's been a nice about month and a half here. So all right, that's how I did it. Where Uber is at now, I'm actually kind of looking for another entry setup. Why? Because if you look out here, you got a nice base, and it gapped up on huge volume above these highs. And so now this can be a breakout and retest setup, because it is, I don't know, where's it at? Yeah, it's near all-time highs, right? And so momentum is upwards. All the MAs, even on the weekly, are upwards. I'm just looking to maybe see if this could be the potential bottom. This could be like a quote unquote 3-bar play. Or some other trade, whatever. It's a big old red green ignition bar by a resting candle that doesn't go 50% of the way. So that's if it closes strong on Thursday and Friday, right? And so big if. We still have 2 days of the week. Either way, I am looking for another entry into Uber at the moment, just waiting on the shorter term time frame of maybe, so it's at this unfilled gap up right now. So there's going to be buy orders in here to fill. And so, once supply runs out, these buy orders, they may never get filled, but the people that are seeing price stability gives longs more confidence that price is finding a fair trade value. That's how I see it. And they'll be more willing to enter longs here. And then once supply continues to drive up, demand continues, supply dries up, demand continues up. And then, we have standard rising in prices, supply and demand laws, right? And so I'm kind of looking for maybe like a little double bottom, maybe another day of chopping here to create a range. Then it could break that range to the upside, come back and retest it to set a higher low versus one of these lows. And then that would be, as it pushes away, that would be a good entry point. Then you can set a stop loss below one of those. You could also do, pull back entry if you wanted. You can anchor it from this high here and wait for price to get above this light blue line, which would be saying all market participants on the long side, if above this blue line, are in the green. And so you want buyers in control most of the time if you're not trying to catch bottoms or with a lot of setups to be part of your trade. All right, hopefully that makes sense. So that's kind of how I played Uber from 76.38 to 80. I don't know, it was like 82.60 something. So a nice little 4.75 R gain. And now I'm looking for a continuation trade setup, because overall I think it looks pretty good to continue. Hopefully that helps. If these are helpful, like, share, all the good stuff. I appreciate your time. Enjoy your evening, day, wherever you guys are at. Stay safe. Always manage your risk. Trade to trade tomorrow. Later.